the Limpah.
Okay, so I know it's been a while, but I've been on vacation, and I'm not blowing you off, but it's been a Zelda vacation. Yes, a Zelda vacation. A summer full of Zelda goodness, and it's been so much Zelda, I would almost call it a Zelda overload, but we all know that's impossible. You just can't have too much Zelda. So a lot of things happened. I went to Video Games Live, and there's a whole bunch of video game music, including Zelda music, which I'll show you at the end of the mailbag. And I also went to Symphony of the Goddesses for the second time, and that was really awesome. And it was really cool, so you'll see more of that in this video. And I also had some of the people there answer questions, and there's just so many questions. So I only got to a couple of them in this mailbag. And, you know, there's just so much, I didn't want to make the mailbag too big. I also, as you can see, was rearranging my gaming room. And there's still a lot to go. And I still have to put my Metroid stuff over here and other stuff over here. And yeah, so I've been working on that. And I totally would have put a mailbag up by now, but I kind of like broke this finger and then slit this finger open. And it was all yucky, and I didn't want you guys to see it. So yeah. Here, first are some of the Zelda questions, which are really fun. First of all, we start off with the Keaton quiz, which was awesome. At Symphony of the Goddesses, there's a guy, and he had the Keaton mask on, and it was so, oh my gosh, I was, What is Anju, the innkeeper at the Stockpot Inn, really bad at doing?
Cooking.
Oh, he got it! What time does Romany, the little girl from the range, go to bed?
6 o'clock.
No, one more time.
8 o'clock?
He got it! Yeah, there you go. What are Tingle's magical words?
Tingle, tingle. Say louder. You got it.
He's so adorable when he gets excited and he answers them right with facial expressions he makes. He's like so adorable. What do you think? And he's like, ah. And then I saw Luna from Zelda Eternity, who she left for a while and now she's back. If you remember, I went with her to the Ocarina of Time 3D release, and that was cool. And so I saw her, and then there was another YouTuber who, you know, hi there, I hope you see this, but yeah. So what is the best Link in Zelda?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one. I don't know. I like the Twilight Princess outfit for Link.
Yeah, I kind of like his too. Like,
Well, it's more detailed than all the younger Zelda games.
yeah, just
Older.
it looks
Young
almost.
Princess Zelda. I'm partial to Twilight Princess, but I do like her Skyward Sword outfits.
Yeah, I kind of like Skyward Sword.
Was somebody dressed up as the Skull Kid, and it's the same guy who got interviewed by, I believe, Kotaku. So he was there, and his mask is amazing. It's made of fiberglass, and it's solid, and it's really cool. So he was really cool. He answered a mailbag question. Do you think Ocarina of Time Link could be Kafe or the Fierce Deities parallel?
I think that the dynamic between Ganondorf, Zelda, and Link is from their own universe, and Parallel just happened to have their own thing. Because Parallel would have been the Giants and Majora.
He was really, really cool, and there were so many other amazing cosplays. There were Twilight Princess cosplayers, which was really cool, Midna. And then there was this family, which they are my favorite because the entire family cosplayed. Oh my gosh, I love these people. And so, okay, we listened to the entire Symphony of the Goddesses second quest, which was amazing. It was just as good, if not better, than the first quest. And oh my gosh, I was like, I had goosebumps and tinglies, and I was sitting on the edge of my seat like this the whole time going. For those of you who haven't gone yet, you need to. You need to. There is something about it that's just so incredible. You have to go. It envelops everything that is amazing about The Legend of Zelda, and it brings together, you know, magic and music and just everything, and I can't explain it. So the best way I'm going to explain it to you is I'm going to say there's a little link in the description below, and there's an amazing review, which even Emer Noon commented on herself, written by Veer from VA Games, and it will tell you in detail about the amazingness that is the Symphony of the Goddesses second quest, without spoilers, of course, and just the words he uses are so incredible that you will have so many Zelda feels if you read it. If you don't want to read it, that's cool, but if you do, there will be so many Zelda feels, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, and even it'll go down to the cellular level, and your cells will be like, oh my gosh, Zelda, and then something crazy will happen where like the Zelda feels will transform and mutate your genes, and all of a sudden, you know, over some time, you'll turn into a Hylian. Then Matt says, do you think Ganondorf will get a game to tell his side of the story and why he's trying to get the Triforce? They explained it kind of in the Wind Waker. And they should start him out as a kid to show what he went through. I think Zelda franchise is racist because Ganondorf is the only black guy in the whole game. He's also the one getting killed to save his people. I feel bad for him. Well, it's good that you feel bad for him. That's kind of the point of the Wind Waker. You're supposed to feel, you know, kind of bad for him. Even though he's still a villain, you're still supposed to kind of get that. Which, obviously, the game did the job right. But let's kind of rewind there a little bit. As far as being a kid, I really doubt he went through anything if he was a kid and grew up regularly because he's a king and he'd still be spoiled, and obviously he has all these women followers who are like all over him, so it totally can't be that bad. But on a serious note, yes, he went through a whole bunch of stuff and his people were suffering really bad, and that was his initial reason for wanting the Triforce and being jealous of Hyrule and Hyrule's kingdom. But he was greedy, and that kind of, his evilness inside is what took over. So he started out as trying to save his people, but it totally didn't keep going that way, so he still deserved what he got. Now you can't say Nintendo's racist because, come on, Ganon is like not just a black guy. I mean, the Gyarados are brown in Ocarina of Time, you know, more of what we consider to be Middle Eastern looking. So in that, he's brown. And then in Twilight Princess, he's not exactly like black, like chocolate black, like sexy black man black. He's like, looks like he has been grilled black. He's like literally like dark gray skin. He looks like he's old and decrepit, and maybe as part of his character design, I don't know, because he technically died, so maybe his skin is supposed to be like that, I don't know. But then he's also a pig, and so he also has blue skin. So he's been brown and he's been black and he's been blue. He's kind of like the color of a bruise. So really, you know, you can't say Nintendo's racist. It's just, you know, Ganon is just an evil rainbow of skin colors. And technically he's not the only one who dies trying to save people. Link does as well in Ocarina of Time on the defeated timeline. So yeah. And you know what? Even Princess Zelda dies in Spirit Tracks. I mean, technically they don't want to go out and say dead, but she's a ghost. They take her soul and remove it from her body. Dead! So they've all died. So blah. Then the Pretzel Twister says, could you explain some of the mistranslations you come across in Hyrule Historia? Come across a few myself, such as books saying that Zelda Spirit Tracks is 5th-generation descendant of Tetra. I also thought she was Tetra's granddaughter, and I thought it might verify it in the game as well. Nico's still alive from Tetra's crew, which would make him super old. So it'd be helpful if you could clarify some of the more confusing facts like that one. So in Spirit Tracks, she is a 5th generation, which I know it kind of is confusing, but really think about it for a second. Spirit Tracks takes place 100 years after the crew lands in New Hyrule. Nico is very, very, very old. He was a youth when they landed, and he just so happened to outlive Tetra and Link, which kind of makes sense. He is very spunky, and he just kind of seems like he would be old and able to live a long, long, long time. It's totally possible for 5 generations to exist within 1 century, you know, every 20 years. It's simple math. So no, that's actually right. But there are other mistranslations and alternate translations. One of them I talked about in the last mailbag was how there were different words used to describe what Aghanim is. So view the last mailbag if you want to find out if he is an alter ego or a separate person completely or not. So yeah. And then there is in the art section, when they're naming off some of the artists or the designers, they actually use different names because kanji names, you know, they can be translated differently. So those are different. So I'm not sure which ones are right actually, because I can't actually talk to the actual designers themselves and hear their names, and you know, so that's kind of a question there. And then as far as timeline goes, there is some other stuff, like say for instance in Diminished Cap, the translation Glitterberry uses / with NOA, they say that they Eslo gives, you know, Zelda the cap, and then Zelda uses the combined power of the light force and the cap to make her ultimate wish, and blah blah blah. But then in the other more literal translation, it says that Zelda actually used the cap to wish that the light force would leave her. So those are very, 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 very different translations. So that's another weird thing. And then the other one is like, say, with the Hero Shade, Well, actually, I wouldn't say this one is a alternate translation or mistranslation, just stuff left out. Literal translation says that, the hero shade is not, directly related to Twilight Princess Link. They are spiritually related, which is kind of, confirmed as that relationship type thing existing is confirmed in Skyward Sword. But anyway, translation says that, it's just they're descended from each other, whatever. And it's kind of like, the descendant thing is there, but the defining, little piece of information that says exactly how they're related is left out of the Hyrule Historia English translation. So you gotta really read these things, and believe me, there are a lot more, but you gotta really, 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 really look into all of it to get the gist of everything. I'm thinking a lot of these things are left out, maybe because they're just too long, I don't know, but yeah, if you want to know the real canonical kind of stuff, if you're a theorist anyway, then you gotta do your research. Okay, in here, so as Super Hero Goddesses totally did a hipster Zelda cosplay, made my own sailcloth, which was kind of awesome in my opinion. I did it in like half an hour because I did this night before and I was rushing, but it turned out great and super cool. And then, we made Virgo as hipster Link, and he totally looks like way, way, way old, which I guess I suck at making him look like hipster, but it still works. So I made Virgo as hipster Link, and yeah, that was pretty fun. And like I said, I went to Video Games Live, and that was great. And Tommy Tallarico is so energetic. I don't even know how he does it. He's like hopping around the stage and stuff, and jumping like freaking, like he has a jump boots or something. And he's like playing on the guitar, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is so happy. And he was really cool. And so it's a big major difference between Symphony of the Goddesses and Video Games Live, but they're both crazy enjoyable. So yeah. So I'm sorry if this was super extra long, but I hope you enjoyed it. I have had a super awesome Zelda-filled summer with more to come, and hopefully my next mail bag you'll see this Zelda wall fill up with more stuff and see the rest of the gaming room develop. And like I said, a lot of my stuff's way out there, and you see that in here, but yay, more space, and I'm back, and yeah, so Zelda. Oh, and leave your comments and questions in the section below there, so we can all talk about Zelda, and I'll answer your questions, or mailbag at HYRULEAN, or Twitter, Facebook, or Tumblr, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you the music